Dr. Amy Erickson is faculty at Sheridan College. I haven't really emphasized that partnership yet, but it's something that we can't really overemphasize, is that a lot of the students that we work with and a lot of the folks that we get a chance to work with and some of the resources that we have access to are strongly tied to coordination and cooperation with Sheridan College. We're kind of co-located at our location in town, and Dr. Erickson is probably one of the most involved faculty members at Sheridan College that works with us here. This is an update on what has kind of turned into a multi-year project, and Amy's going to talk to us a little bit about what has happened in the past and what's happening now. So, Amy.
Well, welcome. It's kind of nice to be able to talk to a group of people about the research that I'm doing. As a community college instructor, the primary reason I'm involved in research is to provide an opportunity for our students to get engaged in science and research, and also to see the opportunities that the University of Wyoming can offer. So I'm not a lone wolf on this. I'm definitely doing this for our students, and I'll just go ahead and introduce our students that I have here today that are helping with this project. Over here in the red shirt is Owen Sutton. We have Cheyenne Hunter, Lexi Pierce, and although Curtis isn't helping with this particular project, he's also one of the students that I've gotten involved in the research here, and he's working with Dr. Deckney. This is a multi-year project, and so a couple years ago we started a project out here. My area of expertise is in plant stress physiology, particularly in vegetable crops, and Wyoming of course has a wide variety of potential stresses that can stress out the plants, so that you look at their plant responses. The one that I've decided to focus on out here is the quality of groundwater that many places in Wyoming has access to. And Wyarno, like many other places, has groundwater that is very high in salts and other minerals. And so if you wanted to see the comparison here, there's a table on this PowerPoint comparing just the Sheridan city water to the Wyarno well water that we have out here. And again, very high in dissolved salts, high in calcium, magnesium, and in sodium. And these are things, especially the sodium and just the overall amount of salts, can cause a lot of water stress in the plants, even if you're watering them a lot. So that water competes with the salt in the soil, and the plants can't take it up. This can create toxic responses in your plants and just low growth rates because they're struggling to get enough water. So the first year that we did this project, I grew cucumbers and jalapeno peppers out here, watering with the city water and the well water that we have. And actually, you can go to that next slide. And for those of you that can see, the picture there on the left are the cucumbers and the jalapenos growing in this covered crop drip irrigation system. And if you look at that, you can see that they're growing really well. So even though every other row was watered with the well water, the overall production and overall growth of those plants was really not different from each other. They did well under both conditions. And we had quite a large harvest. You can go to the next slide, of the cucumbers. I don't have the jalapeno pepper data here. The first group is the well water, the second group of data is the city water, just differences in the rows, but not difference in the overall water source. So production was high, and it didn't really affect the salt water didn't affect the overall production. So that's kind of a nice little take-home note for those of you that have this type of water and want to grow vegetables either in a garden or at the production level. If you don't just drench them in the salts, use drip irrigation, it would be my recommendation. You can still grow your vegetables. Over time, though, the soil quality is going to change, and that's something to be concerned about. The second year, the project that we're looking at now, since we know we can actually grow vegetables in this situation, we're looking at what is actually going on in the cucumber plant and in the soil that might allow them to tolerate the amount of salt that they're exposed to. And so this year we're just looking at cucumbers, and they're coming up nicely finally. And we're going to look at the photosynthetic rates, the model conductance, really get into the physiology of what's going on in the plant. But then, here's the cool part, we're going to look at what's happening in the soil at the microbiome layer. And so it's fairly recently our understanding of plant interactions in the soil, we're realizing that the bacteria and the fungi in that soil are contributing to a plant's success. Now, we've known this in natural systems. In forests, mycorrhizae are very important for plant tree establishment and health. In range grasses, we see that too with mycorrhizae. But now we also know that the bacteria play a role, and there's some research out there that show that bacteria can actually, certain bacterial species can stimulate plants to respond more quickly to salt stress and other types of environmental stresses. And so we are going to be sampling soil and the roots while we do this project, sending that information, the DNA that we collect from that soil to labs and get that DNA sequenced and come back and find out what type of bacteria and fungi do we have in the soil. Is it different when we water with the salty well water versus our pretty good city water? And are those organisms having an direct impact on the cucumbers that we're growing out here? So that's where we're going next. It's getting very, very exciting, very sciencey, but it gives students a little more opportunity to see the overall interaction of different organisms. So, anybody have any questions? Yeah.
When you're saying salty water, are you referring to sodium or calcium or a mixture?
Oh, well, in this water, it's both. Both calcium and sodium are high. The real concern here is the sodium. That's harder for a plant to deal with. The calcium is a beneficial micronutrient and actually have high magnesium too. But it's primarily the sodium that we're concerned with. Any other questions?
Your city water with chloride and fluoride, do you see any problem there? It's
not currently, no. It's not a high enough level to cause problems in the soil. And actually, if you go back to that soil or the water comparison, the well water still has higher chloride than the city water does.
But we put KCl on agronomic crops all the time,
right.
So that level then are probably the red flag.
Typically not a problem, and fluoride is not usually an issue with plants.
So beyond the growth, is it going to affect the flavor?
Everybody keeps asking me that. We're going to have taste tests this year. I don't know. We ate them all no matter where they came from, but they got all mixed together.
If you make pickles out of them, they'll all taste good.
Do you do amendments like Epsom salts, like magnesium sulfate, or just sulfur?
Yeah, we're not doing anything to try to remediate the salt quality, but we do add a little osmocote just to make sure they have all the nutrients that they need.